It is 8:28 on a Thursday morning here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTKA.com. We're live here inside the Make the Choice studios, brought to you by Suburban Chevrolet Cadillac Saab in Ann Arbor. Well, you know, Thursdays this season we have lived vicariously through our next guest and her athletes as they went on a very memorable and exciting ride, one that came to a conclusion, obviously, before they would have liked it to, but it doesn't take away from what a thrill it was. I mean, the regional, the super regional especially, all the way to the Women's College World Series. Joining us right now is Michigan softball coach Carol Hutchins. Coach, good morning.
Morning, Sam.
Glad to have you. And first of all, just congratulations on what was an outstanding season.
Well, thank you. It really was. It was a journey. As we always say, it's a journey. But most importantly, just a really enjoyable group of young women who were just committed to the team. And that's what made it, I think, what made us the greatest.
Now, Coach, you said all year long that, it was about your seniors. And, this was something that they knew. They said was possible, but they knew was possible early on. Just kind of take us back to the genesis, to the beginnings of what turned out to be a run all the way to the Women's College World Series.
Well, I've had a lot of senior classes, and the seniors can get really caught up in the fact that this is their last year and make it about the fact that this is about them. And this group was so special because they did not ever do that. This was about the team, and they really were not leading from the top down. They embraced the team. They were part of the team, and it was like all in for one. They were really had a special leadership style, and it made all the difference in the world.
Certainly, I imagine that when your team faces adversity, the leadership that they provide really rises to the fore, Coach. So you go down and you face the team that you call the Yankees, and we could see why in Oklahoma. We could certainly see exactly what you were talking about. I mean, a leadoff hitter who's 40% of her hits were home runs. I thought that stat was an error. Turned out to be true. But so you have a loss, and then, Coach, you got to wait until the wee hours of the morning to play a game. That was adversity in and of itself right there.
Well, I don't know if all the folks out there know the story, but Friday we didn't have a game because of the fact we were in the losers bracket.
Mm-hmm.
And the winners' games by 6 o'clock that night had been postponed indefinitely, and there was a big storm coming in. The NCAA did a wonderful job of ensuring everybody's safety. We were out on the practice field at about 3, and they told us to get home and take cover by 4. And we watched that storm roll across the state of Oklahoma. The storm watchers were out. And we ended up in a parking garage for several hours that evening, and it was terrifying. Again, another huge blast that hit Oklahoma City. And so all the games, obviously were delayed. The tournament got backed up. And then on top of it, the game in front of us, which was supposed to be the Saturday morning loser bracket game, went 15 innings, and they didn't get off the field until 11:15. And the NCAA allows you to start a game no later than 11:59. So with the 24-minute window that ESPN gives you to in between games, we were able to start. We started at 11:52. That's 12:52 Ann Arbor time. So I don't know how many people got to watch us play Arizona State. But you know what? Our kids they were excited to play. They didn't care. They would have waited all night. And again, they're college kids, so that was more conducive to when they're up and ready to go than to when I am. So
right.
They were there. They were locked in, and it was a big win for us. And it was the first time all year Arizona State had been shut out.
Yeah, I was watching that game, and I was thinking, wow, it has to be youth that allows them to get out and be as ready to go as they were, because I'm sitting on a couch and I'm almost out of it. So it'll be they're out on the field ready to go and ready to play, and obviously ready to win because they won that game 2-0. But then, Coach, another quick turnaround. I mean, geez, you guys are right back at it. Seems like a few hours later almost.
Well, we got back to the hotel. We got off the field at 3 a.m. local time. And I got to bed about 4:30. I don't think my kids were a whole lot in front of me because it was hard to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to be, we left for the field at noon. So we had literally about 8 hours to sleep, recover, eat, ice ourselves, all those things. And we were back out on the warm-up fields and had a 2:30 game, which started on time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it would. That one would start on time, right? So
Yeah.
You get out there and of course, sometimes it's the bounce of the ball. I mean, a ball off of Sarah, and they end up getting some runs, and that's kind of sometimes it's kind of how the ball bounces, right?
Well, it's really how I felt about that game. Most importantly, I felt we had every chance to win it. And after playing Oklahoma, I felt anybody else was just a normal human team, because I tell you what, Oklahoma really didn't seem to be human in very many areas.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't bring our best to Oklahoma. We struggled the whole tournament to get on track offensively, and that really obviously was the name of the game for us. Sarah pitched a good game, but she gave up a couple big hits, and normally we saw through the whole postseason where somebody hit the ball off somebody, off Sarah, off Amy Knapp, and Romo would come up and throw them out. And when that ball hit Sarah by Souza, the second baseman who hit the ball off Sarah's shins, I immediately thought Romo was going to field it, but it didn't bounce our way. And then it just opened up a couple quick runs in a row, and that was the name of the game for us, because our offense we just did not adjust the whole tournament.
Mm-hmm. Well, but again, we've gotten calls all week about how proud Michigan fans were about how well your team represented throughout the season, but certainly in the postseason and down in the World Series. It is very clear, and you made that point as well. Your players really represented Michigan well all along the way.
Well, and that's why they come to Michigan. That's why we recruit them to Michigan, to play for Michigan and to represent Michigan. And I think it's what sets us apart from so many institutions, because the kids at Michigan understand this is not about them and their individual. This is about the University of Michigan and what they can do to honor the institution. So I felt we competed very well, and to get to Oklahoma City, I say it every year, I don't know if the fans can understand how difficult it is to get to Oklahoma. It's just to get through that super regional, and you've got to have the ball bounce your way. You've got to play your best ball, and that it's a huge achievement, and especially for that senior class.
So, Coach, how long do you give yourself to kind of let you take a brain break before you start thinking about next year?
Well, you're always planning ahead. I just sent both my assistants on a plane this morning to California. Its recruiting season begins tomorrow. And we're always planning ahead that way, but I'm certainly thinking ahead and I've met with all my players and talk about what some of the potential pluses or minuses are for next season. And I think the biggest thing is, once a team's had great success, they need to understand that was in the past. Mm-hmm. And they need to come back with an edge and a desire to get better. And sometimes that's the hardest thing. When kids have achieved their goals, the next year can be difficult because they forget how hard it was to get there. But that'll be our plan for the fall, is to make it very difficult for them and harden them up and get Team 37 ready to roll, because we shut the book on Team 36 yesterday. I met with my last student athlete, and now we're moving forward to Team 37.
Now, Coach, so you clearly, it was a very special senior class. You mentioned their leadership style. I know collectively you're looking to seniors to lead again, but specifically, are there players that you can kind of see that are going to be, your key leaders, the athletes to kind of lead the way for you?
Well, Nicole Sappingfield will be a returning captain. She was captain last year as a junior, and she'll certainly take on some responsibility. I really look to Sarah Driesinga to be one of our key leaders. which is she's ready for, and I expect great things from her. And I am certain that Sarah Romero will step up into some leadership role, because your best player needs to be a leader, and we will groom her all year, because she's in the middle of the field, and the team looks to her, and her confidence is important, because if she doesn't have confidence, the rest of the team doesn't have confidence. And when she does have confidence, the whole team has confidence. So there's a lot on her young shoulders, but she's capable of it.
And, you know, Coach, obviously you knew she was good. You recruited her, but was there any aspect of what she did in her freshman season that surprised even you, despite what you had seen from her in her high school years?
Well, I have a lot of people have asked me if I thought she was going to be that good, and I repeated, yes, I really did think she was going to be that good. But even I think was amazed. I was amazed at her ability to just turn it up in games. And when she was on, boy, when she's on, she's on.
Well, Coach, I heard you use a term, and I think it is so applicable to her, because you watch her and she has infinite swag. I mean, there's a presence about her that seems to be something that gives the other players around her confidence. One coach I talked to said, "Hey, sometimes you need your best player to give the other players courage," and it really seemed like she's one of those types of player.
Well, she really is, and it's the greatest quality of a great player is when they elevate the rest of the players around them. And I've had a few players with that gift, and Sarah Romero definitely has that gift.
All right, so you said it's recruiting season. Kind of bring us up to speed. Have you signed already the incoming class coming in for next year, or are there still some players to sign for that?
We've got 4 kids coming in, 2 from the state of Illinois, a pitcher from Georgia, and a kid from the New Jersey area, who are all we're very excited about what they bring to the table, their athleticism and their talent, and they all come from high-powered programs already. We feel very, very much that this upcoming class will come in and make immediate impact, and we think all 4 of them will vie for playing time immediately.
Okay.
And
all right.
I couldn't be more excited about that group.
Okay. All right, Coach. And last one, how's Haley? I know she injury late in the year, in the playoffs, obviously. And but how is she now? And then next year, 1-2 punch again with her and Sarah. And
we'll have a third pitcher from Georgia who's gonna play. She's not somebody that's going to take a long time to earn some time, and it just gives us some very competitive options. And the kids will be competing for time, which will make all of them work harder, and they'll all be better. And it gives us some really good options when somebody is injured or sore or tired or isn't having a good day. Haley has to go home and she's got to recover. She has to